You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV Saturday Night Live After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's SNL After Show.
Yes, here we are, live from lovely Los Angeles, California. Saturday Night Live, Sunday Night Live recap show, AfterBuzz TV. Hi,
You're
guys.
so lucky.
I missed you.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Hey, the audience missed you.
Great job last week.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just
Really
have
proud.
one little note to give you guys.
Please.
I found out from the producer,
Yeah.
whoever that producer was at the time, that you guys were wearing pants, and you know when you're hosting, you should. We don't have the camera ability. Can't go down. But this is a pantless show, so just next time.
mean, we could
Rookie
drop-
mistake. Rookie
No,
mistake.
it's all right. When you know you were gone, and then me and Graham discussed it, and we
Doesn't matter.
we thought it was weird.
No, that stuff doesn't matter. Don't.
Okay.
The show is secondary.
Okay, you got it.
We
Pants.
got to
You
got
drop
it.
trow.
Got to drop trow if you're going to be doing.
I'm
this.
glad you're back.
Yeah. You're guiding us. Yeah.
No, seriously, guys. Thank you so much for your show, for doing your show. This is
Yeah,
our
feel
show.
pretty
This
good.
is
This is
our
our
show.
show.
This is our show.
You are
Yeah.
our muse, so it was.
Thank you.
You know,
We were thinking about you the entire time.
That's not true. Not true at all.
It was.
Not true at all.
I don't know if there's a video of it though. I mean, maybe that's
What's
why
going
was it
on?
a pants thing. I know we got the
So it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
It
that's
wouldn't
the
have mattered anyway.
We
So
should've
as
done
far
it
as we're
shirtless.
concerned,
Yeah.
you could have done it completely naked, and it would have
Beautiful.
Wouldn't have mattered. I am Mario Hernandez, as with me always.
Always.
My besties.
Mr.
couple
Matthew
bros.
Kyle.
And
Graham high.
how high?
Yeah.
I'm a sky high.
Sky high, Graham.
Sky high. Ooh.
Yeah, sky high.
He's usually
Dubai
sky
high.
high.
Let's go Dubai high.
Dubai high.
high.
Yeah.
And guys, before we do get started, I just
Yeah,
want to
Phil.
say to all of our fans at the start of the show, you know, please rate and comment us. As these guys are alluding to, they're here every week, and you know, they're humble, and so they won't outright
Aw.
say it, but they do put in a lot of work into the show every single week, pants or no pants. And so all we ask for in return is please rate and comment us on iTunes. It means the world to us. So again, also we are developing an app. There was a lot of talk about, do we charge people, do we not? And we want to deliver the best product to you guys for free, and so we will not charge for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the more
free.
reason why you got to rate and comment us.
But yeah, it's got to be an interactive thing. We got to hear from you guys, and that's very kind of you. Phil in the booth, back post
Welcome back,
Oscars, because
Phil.
I know the Oscars and our Bing
right.
partnerships and all our other projects.
The
are
hardest
really
working
contributing.
man at AfterBuzz
Yeah.
TV
That's
right
right.
there.
It's
Grinding,
the
dude.
heart and soul, and I like the new lights, and we got new camera angles.
Yeah.
And this place is
Got this thing over there. That's why you guys need to watch.
this place is slowly turning into porn.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying it. There's a lot of lights, a lot of
And
cameras.
I wonder
I like it.
what set that off. No pants, Mario.
Yeah.
No pants Sunday.
You,
I
you
mean,
got the balls rolling.
rolling off the tongue.
Yeah, I know.
Our system
Here we are.
detected a
There
host
we
We're
has
on the
wandered off
internet,
subject.
man.
There we are.
Please return it once.
Yeah,
Bringing
guys,
people
let's
what
bring
they
it
want.
back. So we got Saturday Night Live for March. What was last night? 9th?
The 9?
Yep.
Yeah.
10th. Jonah Hill was the host.
March 10th.
March 10th. Thank you. Jonah Hill was the host. Musical guest, The Shins. Let's begin there. Jonah Hill. What do we think? Is he slowly transitioning into a serious actor? He's Academy Award nominated for his
Serious actor.
Yeah.
for
serious.
his. Okay, well that answers my question. We couldn't even get to the end of the question before. It's like, what are you talking about?
Come on.
So, what did you guys think when you heard that he was going to be back? 'Cause this is his second time hosting.
I was excited. I mean, I thought he did a great job the first time. I think it was about 4 years ago, so it's
Right.
been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not
Time
that.
flies.
Yeah, not that recent of a jump. Yeah, so I was looking forward to it. I thought he'd be a solid host. Obviously, I think anytime somebody comes from a comedic background and is hosting SNL, thumbs up there, because you know they're going to be able to extend themselves a little more and be a little more comfortable with the format. So I say thumbs up.
Okay. Graham, what did you think?
I,
when you heard? When I
heard, yeah. I mean, I think he's funny in all of his movies. Moneyball, I was expecting to laugh, but I was surprised. Like, he didn't make any poop jokes or smoke any weed, but he still did a good job. I will say, like, I was a little surprised. I expected him to be a little bit more loose, you know, have that kind of that improv feel where he's just kind of open and a little zany. Seems like the live element kind of put him in a different zone. He didn't feel as comfortable with that as he does, like, on a Judd Apatow set.
Yeah, and you guys know, it's different to improvise when you're in the scene and kind of go. And of course, obviously, improvisation is completely different than sketch, which sketch is kind of in that nebulous, especially a live sketch show, which is kind of in that nebulous, neither here nor there. It's like it's scripted, but you may just have been handed the script, an hour before, or you might just be, this might be your third time you're running it through it off the cue cards or whatever. So you're right. There was a certain kind of I don't want to say hesitation, but a certain kind of, stop-start that I think what really saved him in pretty much all the sketches, and we'll talk about what we liked and what we didn't like, but the thing that really saved him was his ability to play characters. And even in the sketches that did not soar, he started from a point where he's a scientist or a 6-year-old kid or whatever, and that's a much better. He has some range that you can't do necessarily with a lot of some of the other hosts that we've been dealing with, that we've seen this season. So yeah, all right. Well, let's jump right in with his. The first time we see him, of course, was the monologue. And we were right before the show. We were discussing what a curious choice it was, because it was basically 3 parts, right? It was the beginning, the little monologue where he talks about how he lost out to the
the setup, if you will, of the video.
Setup of the video, which is kind of the second part, and then the complete non sequitur, I guess it's connected because of the Oscars. Tom Hanks's cameo, which ended up kind of being almost the highlight.
Yeah, that was the best part
of the monologue, if not the whole show altogether. So
I'll say it was.
It was. So you're going on record as saying Tom Hanks.
I'm a Tom Hanks fan, but it just some people walk on that stage and light it up.
Yes.
And it was dim until Mr. Thomas Hanks stepped on that stage, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is like pizza and sex. Like, everybody likes it. Even
Two things you dreamed about last night.
Yeah, every night. Even a celibate monk on a hunger fast will enjoy Tom Hanks.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, he's America's sweetheart as the man quality. I mean, yeah. He's a cool guy.
Like, you know what? You like pizza and sex.
Yeah,
America's
pizza
other
and sex.
sweethearts. America's into polygamy. So.
The bit he did, though, what was it? The 25th anniversary show. He was fielding questions from the audience, and they're asking about his Oscars and like, what do you do with all your Oscars? And that was kind of a play on that. He back then he said, I put some up in my garage just to make sure, when I'm pulling in, I don't hit the wall. And I keep one on top of my toilet just to keep me humble. And it's like, I like Tom Hanks, where it's like, he is a serious actor. At the same time, he seems like a real dude.
But he's so comfortable. That's like, he just got up there and he owns it.
I've talked about this before. I went to see and I may have mentioned it on this show or maybe another show, but I went to see a reggae concert with, I want to say her name was Marsha Williams, who is this woman who, like, she had her first reggae hit back in the 60s. And so she's a woman that's literally spent, I mean, no joke, thousands of hours on stage. And that's what it is, right? Lana Del Rey, the Lana, once again, the Lana Del Rey episode that I said I'd never bring up again. But again, that comfort level that comes with being on stage, being in front of people. Not to say that Jonah Hill hasn't had time, but you're right. It was just a different thing. It was a different aura, if you can call it that. It was a different vibe once he stepped on. that was really independent of the fact that he's Tom Hanks. You know, it wasn't like because I wouldn't think of I don't think of myself as a huge Tom Hanks fan. So to me, his arrival doesn't instantly bestow awesomeness.
Oh, okay.
But then he got into it. He got into the material, and you're right. He was so relaxed that I'm like, oh, okay. I'm willing to see where he goes because he's such a relaxed performer.
And there's nothing special about what he did. It was a pretty sticky bit.
Right.
Very sticky. You knew where it was going. There were no tricks there. You obviously knew he wasn't going to hand it to him. All this, obviously the Academy Award statue I'm referring to. And it's awesome.
Yeah. I like how he showed up and he was like, I'm here to talk about the space program. He always like he's not just an actor now. He always has some cause or something going on. He's like, yeah, I'm Tom Hanks, but I'm going to talk to you about World War II.
Yeah, he's a brand. You know, he's got his own. He's one of the guys for the World War II projects and the space program and all of these great things, which is in a weird sort of way. It's kind of, you would maybe not every actor, but that is kind of all of our dreams, right? Where we can grow up and be. And all of a sudden, every little thing that's fascinated us since we were kids, we can be involved with. That.
Right at your fingertips.
You know, it's right at your fingertips, and you can pick up the phone and say, call up Major League Baseball, or the Train Museum, or the
train. That's your second.
Because model trains.
Right, I
the
got
National Railroad.
I just wouldn't go that leap. go play baseball with the Rangers, and then go at a model train museum.
I was thinking kids. What's kids stuff? Whatever. I was trying to keep it as and especially of that era, that kind of 50s.
I haven't ever thought of a model train.
No, if we're talking me, it's like
the No Pants Museum.
No, it's like cockfighting and
throwing dice,
cilantro. Can I call up the cilantro? To try to see what.
What is weird is though, like, why Tom Hanks? I mean, I love Tom Hanks. Like I said, I love you, Tom Hanks. Why not like Brad Pitt or something like that, or something a little bit closer to where, like, does he have a connection to Tom Hanks?
Offhand, no.
No, like, I don't know the reasoning behind. Maybe he was just in New York at the time. I mean,
it might just be that simple.
Who knows these bigwigs?
Yeah, we got a problem. We can't we need to pad out Jonah Hill's monologue. I'm on the phone right now.
What if we keep thinking?
Phone.
Yeah,
classic pantomime phone.
I need better space work.
Space work.
Finger hand.
The space program.
Space program. I'm Graham Hyman, here to talk about space work.
What if, these celebrities don't live in this rarefied air that we imagine them to? What if they literally, they're in a box and they're like, give me Tom Hanks, stage 7. And then they go to, they bring out the cage and they get unleash Tom Hanks, Yeah. So maybe that's what happens.
I believe it.
Well, the monologue was certainly an interesting start.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Even precluding the Tom Hanks bit, not bad. The video wasn't bad.
My favorite part, I'll say, of that is where Bobby Monahan is saying, like, is it just me, or are his glasses getting smaller and his scarves getting bigger?
Yes.
And it was a nice visual, like, actually every single time he was wearing just different.
Smaller.
Yeah.
So the cold open was, of course, Rush Limbaugh, which Taron Killam
of Culver City.
Of Culver City, California.
Culver City.
Represent.
Did Rush Limbaugh, which was an okay. I've heard other people do a better impression, but I don't think that was the point of that. It wasn't try to get him, a spot on impression. The whole joke, of course, of that sketch was the random companies, which, by the way, I appreciated the fact that they didn't go, let's make fun of Rush Limbaugh for that whole, the whole controversy that's happening with him with his comments on his show. But the fact that he's losing and gaining these companies, that some of them are not so, and I told you guys, the one that I loved was, brought to you by Moist Books. Hey, who left those books out in the rain? Now they're moist. Like, I appreciated that, and for a split second, I thought that's where they were going to go. We're going to now pick just esoteric, random topics. It's like this, and we started to see that I would say about 15 years ago, when all of the lobbying groups started to, like, this is brought to you by milk, and it's like all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? Milk
who is milk?
Who is milk? And why does it? And it's like, no, that's the National Dairy Farmers of Association. And I think SNL had a great one many years ago. That was, remember when Gap had their so and so wore khakis? Remember that? Remember those print ads that had like Jack Kerouac wore khakis?
Oh, okay.
Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn, all these people. So one of them, so the SNL one was like, Jack Kerouac wore khakis, John F. Kennedy wore khakis, Sammy Davis Jr. wore khakis. What do all these men have in common? They're all dead. Brought to you by the United Denim Association. So
that was brilliant.
So the first split second, I thought that's where Rush Limbaugh was going to go. Now brought to you by hot air, or not hot because he's hot air, but like whatever, just random thing. Lint in coins in your couch, because if you add up all those coins, you could get something. And instead they went back to like, you know, depends racists or racist depends. Or...
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire
stuff
real.
like that. Yeah. They went for like real kind of.
We are doing Barney
insert commercials. I think is what they went for.
Yeah,
in a bit. It was just insert commercials. But
yeah.
So, nobody does that anymore.
No. I wasn't feeling that.
But I think it just speaks to a greater point, and I think we all feel the same way. So I'm going to speak for all of us, right to camera.
Do it. Yeah. Do it.
Let's break the cycle, SNL. We do not need to open with political humor. We can put it later. If it's a kind of a prerequisite now, I understand. Election time's coming up. Things are heating up. I get it. I'm with you. But let's open with the strongest material, or at least like a stand-up. Your second strongest joke. Start with the front and then end. It's just, come on, SNL. It's just a little ridiculous at this point when you put weak material right at the front of the show just because it's political.
Right, just because it's topical and it's you know. And my point that I've been saying now for months is that with, and it's mostly Republicans, right, that get made fun of, although that's Obama sometimes comes out, or Joe Biden, who was great. But Republicans and conservatives, and certainly the ones that get the headlines, right? The controversy du jour is so crazy in of itself. How do you make fun of that? Where's the room for satire when the reality, you know, when the funhouse mirror is now...
Just taking it without the context or just what they're saying as it is already funny enough. So how do you put it into something else?
And that's the problem. And if I can remember to recent history, the best cold opener they've done in the past 3 months was the Jeremy Lin bit. That was the best one.
Was that the cold open?
That was the cold open.
Of that one?
I believe so.
Fact check.
You wish you had your laptop.
I'm nude today, folks. That's all right, because the brain is better than a laptop.
Leave us a note if I'm wrong, but I'm like 99% sure that was the
I think you
cold
might be
open.
right. Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say the one political bit that worked, for me anyway, was Moon President.
Moon President. Again, but
Nuked.
doing something different.
Right,
you know?
because that had nothing to do with anything, right? That was like one comment that he made, and it was they went off of that, which I would like to see that. Let's not really rehash literally what which is, like I said, which is kind of what the Rush, although I guess kind of elliptically with the Rush Limbaugh. They're talking about other companies that are pulling because of his controversial comments. So, yeah, less political humor I think would be fine, especially when. Now, is that a part of Saturday Night Live's attempt to hang on to older, more sophisticated viewers?
If it is, why do you have to open with it? I mean, is that because they're just going to be
because they're going to fall asleep?
They're going to be turned off after that opener?
Well, because they got to be in bed by midnight, maybe.
I mean, the show's only been around for 30 plus years. I kind of know the shtick. Not everyone's going to be political.
Yeah.
You know,
Can
the
I
last
take a
time.
stab? I'm going to take a stab.
Good. Take it, Phil.
Well, you guys, just in yourselves, you guys watch on Hulu, correct? For the most part.
I know. I watch.
You watch live?
Do you watch it live?
Can I say the company of which I watch on my DVR?
TiVo. You watch it.
Sure.
TiVo.
You
Love
DVR it.
Oh yes, definitely.
All right.
Well, I guess what I was going to say is, you know, I guess if there is an older audience, they're watching live, whereas the younger audiences, I guess,
cherry picking through Hulu.
Yeah, cherry picking from Hulu, and you know that's why the order may not necessarily matter either. That's why, you know, they'll put that out at the front, and people that are on Hulu, they may skip over that.
We're gonna get some numbers. We're gonna try to see because I know those numbers are available somewhere. So we're gonna try to see how many people actually watch SNL live, SNLL, and how many people watch it on Hulu.
I guess we're 1 for 4 right now, so that's not looking good.
What, that watch it on...
I watch it live, and I guess all you guys watch Hulu.
Well, actually, this one I happened to catch because I knew I was going to be busy today. So I was like, I'm not going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. I actually watched it live. Well, not live. I was like 20 minutes behind, so I could just breeze through with no commercials.
That's where we do it.
But normally I catch up on Hulu the next morning. So that's...
We're still harvesting data. Well, that NBC is. But Lindsay Lohan's episode got 5.5 million. Before that, it averages to about 4 million. 4 point something million. I'm sorry.
Live?
Sorry, which live or record?
Live.
Wow.
Okay. And then and then is there any way to? I guess does Hulu keep numbers? Do they check like downloads or who knows? Let's get. All right.
That's the music for I don't know.
Yeah.
What is Lewis? Who are Lewis and Clark?
It's always
let me check
Clark.
that out. I'll see what I can do.
I think it was Huey Lewis in the News.
Oh,
Lewis and Clark.
I get all my Lewis.
Those aren't even
Louis confused. Well, let's talk about off the top of your heads, guys, what were some sketches that you did like? What were some?
Wow, should we start strong?
Yeah,
I think we should.
We know we're talking about
I think we can all agree that by far the strongest. Actually, the controversy isn't which was the strongest sketch, but rather who was in the monkey suit. We're talking, of course, of the monkey rape.
Yeah,
Brutus. He sexed me.
Brutus, he sexed me.
He sexed me. Yes.
So you're saying, you're pretty sure, in fact, if you were a betting man, you'd say it's Fred Armisen inside the monkey suit.
Except it could have been Bobby Moynihan.
Oh, no.
Could have been.
Why? Wait, how come I said Andy Samberg? And
it's not Andy Samberg.
Why not?
Because Andy Samberg can't do a voice.
Yeah.
So he would have been.
Did you hear that, Andy? By the way, did you hear that? Because his name is Samberg instead of Sandberg, I named him Amdy. I was like, did you hear that, Amdy?
Amdy?
That's not his name.
Sounds like a lovely plush doll from the 80s.
Amdy.
Amdy
And Andy
I'll buy one of
Schmamberg.
those.
But by far the best. It was the standout. It had a fresh quality to it, a uniqueness, and it really just popped right from the beginning.
And it's so funny because I actually, again, I watch it in the other room, and then I either grab my fiance or I bring it on the computer and I say, you got to watch this. So I came to bed chuckling over this sketch, and I explained to her what it was. I kind of reenacted it for her, which is always a lovely image to have in your head as you go to bed. Monkey, Island of Dr. Moreau, rape. But I realize what makes it funny is not the fact that it's not the fact that he had sex, non-consensual sex with this beast.
That's what makes it great.
That is what makes it on the surface.
But not funny.
No, it's not what makes it funny. What makes it funny is that he thought he could get away with it, right? And this guy kind of it kind of calls him out on it because it's like, well, you taught him to speak. What did you think?
It's the irony of it. His greatest accomplishment actually completely backfires on him into his greatest humiliation.
Oh,
so that's
so good. So good. So brilliant. I mean, that's what made it so great.
It's pretty much why he taught him how to speak. He was like, I need a lover that will talk to me.
That's right. You dress up as a schoolgirl. And yeah, I would have liked to see maybe just, I guess, no, they developed it somewhat. I feel like there might have been a little bit better button at the end. But over, I mean, on a night like that.
How do you feel about the racist element? You've pointed that out before. About the one
with
where
the Spanish man,
yeah, just speaking Spanish. He's like, it's not racist if it's true. I thought about Mario. I was like, Mario usually points out that kind of stuff.
Well, they mentioned Mexicans in the, I think it was, it depends. It depends. Racist depends. If you see a Mexican and you wet yourself a little. I thought that was the other laugh. It was funny because I was like, I laughed 3 times during that show. That was the third. No, I thought that was great. There is this kind of. Obviously, and when I do improv and stuff, that's one of my kind of favorites. Because look at me, I got a hairy chest to rival the.
That's why I need to be watching.
One button would have done it there, Mario.
Well, no, I mean I got one of you guys. This goes all the way down, folks. Thank you.
We're gonna wear out the soundboard today. Look out.
So I love those kind of Latin Lothario kind of jokes and kind of the sexy, the Antonio Banderas kind of making fun of that kind of.
Sorry, I was picturing Whore Island.
Nice. Archer, a little guest appearance by Archer.
Nice.
So no, I love that. I'm actually looking forward to Will Ferrell's Casa de Mi Padre.
Oh yeah,
coming out.
Yeah,
that's gonna be good stuff. He speaks like his accent is pretty good, and that's the whole point. He's talked about it in interviews that he wanted to do not a bad gringo kind of hablando español. He wanted to do
better than Nacho Libre's.
Yeah.
Nacho.
Yeah, he's for fun.
Jack Black takes a lot of weekends off, I feel like, but that's another story.
Yeah, what was he last in? He was in that bird movie.
Kung Fu Panda. Oh, with that bird movie? Good.
Ron, where are you? I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Oh, wonderful Bill Ferrell.
Yeah,
that's what I call him.
Is Bill to his friends. All right, so were there any other ones that we maybe thought were
I dug the
leaning
Liza,
towards funny?
Did you dig Liza?
You know what? I'm
a big fan.
I admire it more than I enjoyed it. I love seeing Kristen Wiig, and if it's just her in a sketch, great. I loved I always love the weird ones. I always love the really kind of kind of performance art ones. So it's like I would have liked to have seen her do a little bit more than turn on the lamp, like make some popcorn and just have her dance around the room and kind of do all these things. But we deal with the sketches that we were given.
It seems like in the same vein of the crab skit but luckily she's able to act out where the whole thing is.
And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this, but going back to the crab skit in probably, I want to say at least the last month, if not the last month and a half. And I don't know if she's on her way out. Probably. It kind of seems fitting that she would be. This be her final season. But it almost feels like a Kristen Wiig bucket list from each week I see. It's just like stuff she's had that was show for 7 years or something. And she's like, please just let me do it. I'm almost gone.
Okay.
And because that's the one complaint I'm having lately. It seems like they're trying to do a little changeover. They're pushing Tyrion Killian pretty hard in this episode. He was in a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Kristen Wiig wasn't in a lot of stuff.
Right.
Bill Hader had a couple pieces. But again, kind of seems like they're a little bit of a crossover too between the generations on the show right now. And it's just getting a little lost between being in on the joke and watching people just kind of not care, you know, and get to that point like the last episode, which when he jumped on the table and he was improvising a lot.
Yes.
When he was in there was another episode tonight or last week. What am I saying? Last week? Yesterday.
Yeah.
That again, there's just a lot of loose play there that it's fun, but it almost gets to a point where it's almost Andy Kaufman-esque, you know, where it's almost like we're making fun of you because we don't even care, you know, not bringing us to the party, but we'll let you stand on the front lawn and look in the window of our party while we do it.
Sure, a little Brechtian, if
but
we could get theatrical, you know, where you don't care about the audience's response because you're doing your own thing. That's funny that you mentioned the transition aspect of it, because that was something that I felt in the episode. Was it with Coolio? What was it where there was a sketch where they had backup singers? Was that the Coolio sketch?
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
I can't
so I realized. So we had. This is where I turn to my computer. The three backup singers. Nassim Pedram, the girl that does Miley Cyrus. And the girl,
Abby Elliott.
Abby Elliott. Thank you. I'm a great host. Like the girl with the hair and the droopy eyes. She was good. Thank you.
Oh,
what?
Take me back.
What?
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing.
Mario's got his block out.
Yeah, if you don't
put your gun away, man.
If you don't, if your pants aren't off by now, you have no soul. And Abby Elliott and no, Abby Elliott is not Miley Cyrus.
No, but she was the third.
But
girl.
right, she was the third one. Thank you. Yes. So as I'm looking at these women of the show, I realized they're all really attractive.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
And it's interesting because that to me is kind of a thing of new Hollywood, because we live out here, of course, we see it all the time, right? It's a component, it's part of your toolbox where if you're an actor, and certainly an actress, or an actor, a female actor.
Thank you.
That you have to be good looking. And I realize that I don't feel, you know, without naming names, because I don't want to say who's good looking and who's not.
Well,
but,
you don't need to say it, thank you.
But like in the past, I feel like they're kind of maybe moving away from the comedy aspect and really kind of just moving towards a photogenic aspect. Not to say that the women aren't funny, because some of them do some tremendous characters. Yeah. But it was just so funny because to me, I'm like, wow, Saturday Night Live has really evolved, because to me it used to be all about the comedic chops, about
goofiness,
being
craziness.
Fearless, right? You go back to the very beginning, Lorraine Newman, Gilda Radner.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
lookers,
right?
We'll say that,
right.
Beautiful
and by the way, tremendous, you know, comedians
legends.
and legends.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing now that I think is kind of indicative of the new Hollywood and the new kind of photogenic.
It's like, you know, you do stand up yourself, and you go to these clubs, and all the stand up girls are really pretty.
Yes.
And it's bothering me. Where are the Ellens?
Yeah.
You know, what is going on? It's a brave new world, gang.
Yeah. It's a different thing now. So I would
give to Maya Rudolph. Like, she's a attractive lady in her own right, but she always, and Amy Poehler, like that's
almost.
They're like they're not like beautiful women, but they always made their faces look, I want to say ugly, but they would contort their faces and make themselves look ugly. And these girls generally don't like make themselves look ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even in the steakhouse skit, where she was the frowning girl.
Right.
She was making ugly faces or anything.
And it still wasn't hideous. Certainly not to the level of the jokes that that he was making, that Jonah Hill was making at the time. And and as guys don't have to do that, right? And it's the old Hollywood double standard. There, it's talent. It's how many impressions can you do? How many?
But taking it back to Jonah Hill, the other standard for men isn't a looks; it's a weight. Everybody loves a chubby guy. That was the whole Chris Farley thing. I remember that he was afraid that, if I drop all this weight, people aren't going to like me anymore. People aren't going to think I'm funny. I'm not the funny, fat, boisterous guy at the party, you know? I'm just a regular dude.
You're just a regular guy.
Yeah.
With regular pants.
But that's going now. Everybody's going to be handsome and doing comedy and...
That's the thing. You got to have a little bit of suffering to be a true comic. It's got to come from a place of pain.
I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the essential, right?
Does that mean that we're going to have like a more generic kind of comedy?
Not
like
if we change it today.
Right here.
Not if
right
we band
now.
together.
Not if people start writing in with their comments.
That's what I'm saying. Your comments, concerns, questions, and ideas
are essential to the survival.
They are the fuel to this launching pad of the rocket of the moon.
So we're going to take a quick break, go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other sketches, some of the musical guest, and what the future holds, and maybe even a little bit about some other former hosts and cast members. We got a lot to talk about, folks. Please don't go anywhere. Stick around.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What?
Even my mama thinks that my mind is gone.
But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it.
I love our new camera angle, by the way. Feel free to dance.
Oh, is it full body?
Oh, we see the pants.
Oh, no, what? No, these are my, no, that's my underwear.
They're see-through.
I wear long underwear.
We're getting a little crazy.
Oh, there we go.
Just show some white leg.
There's nothing more street than three white guys listening to Coolio from 95 with their legs
We got
showing.
an album dropping, yo. This is called SNL AfterBuzz. Come straight at your face.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
You're kind of doing the Boys to Men talk over the music there. I like that.
Girl. I heard you laughing at that episode last night.
I don't know if you guys know this. I auditioned for Dangerous Minds.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah. I was living in San Antonio at the time, and they flew me up. They flew me to Dallas at the time, which is where I auditioned. It was literally one afternoon.
Wow.
And I went and I auditioned for the lead. Well, obviously not the Michelle Pfeiffer part.
Yeah,
it was down to me and
like,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I brought my
And
blonde
they went
wig.
with her. Yeah. I did the cocaine scene from Scarface, but she got it. I had to do it in front of her. It was. And obviously I didn't get it, which is why I'm hanging out with you two guys.
That's too slow. Yeah.
But that guy too is not doing anything. So
yeah, that's probably true.
He's not. He is not in here. So that guy actually got worse.
Metaphorical race to the 99-cent store after the show, I guess. That's right. You and him.
That's right. Neck and neck. Hey guys, I want to talk about one of the other highlights I thought of the show. One of the most popular characters on SNL right now. Who has made his way onto blogs. He has his own Yelp account. I don't know if you guys know this.
No.
Yeah. I'm speaking, of course, of Stefan, who is who is doing the who is this kind of
club promoter.
Club, is he? Is that officially his what he
the
does?
homosexual club promoter, I think.
Is he actual club promoter though?
I think that's the shtick, right? Because he's talking about the hot new clubs.
I think he's just one of these like kind of fashion mavens. Yeah. I don't know if he's actually a promoter, because then he would only be promoting his parties.
I thought he had parties everywhere.
I don't think he's involved in all of these. He's like a Perez Hilton of New York nightlife.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And so
he's got to be a New York archetype or stereotype. Maybe do you know Stefan's?
I used to be one.
Oh, okay.
I used to be. I mean, not the full blown.
Explains all your rings.
But the thing.
And it's constant smelling of his hands.
That's right. Well, that's something else.
Oh, right.
That's the smell. The smell. The smelt that I dealt. No,
you own it.
In New York, it's funny because especially in the club world, in the house music and kind of club world scene, there is this. I just said club world scene. I'm old. Club world or club scene. It's all about novelty. Everything is new, right? So anything that's like 6 months is too old. It's like it opened 6 months ago. It's dead. It's gone. The newest, hottest thing. And the one thing that they do nail is this idea of where these parties are held, because ever since Giuliani started cracking down in the mid-90s, parties have gone back underground. And so it's like, well, where are these, it's not like out here in LA where it's mostly like warehouses and fields and raves and stuff. Rave culture isn't an East Coast, certainly not a New York thing. So they're more about warehouses, underground parties, dungeons, all of these funny, which they tap into. Somebody's grandma's basement. The bathroom of a Burger King in Times Square. These types of things where you find these really obscure parties. And the more esoteric and obscure, the cooler it is, because you only want like 6 people. It's like 6 of the hottest people were there. And all of a sudden now it becomes really exclusive. So that's what they're making fun of. And then of course they can run into with Smurfs and Twinks and whatever. They have all these great things. But one of the parts that we were just talking about that's kind of bothersome, certainly if you're an amateur comic yourself and you're like, well, I would never do that if I was there, is this idea of breaking character, which happened several times throughout the show. Jonah Hill on the J-Pop America Future Fun Time Now sketch, he lost it, which is fine. He's a guest, and and it was he's already. I mean, he was in a costume, speaking in a fake accent, and then really delivering.
When you're fighting against it and it happens organically, that is when the audience really grabs onto it.
But this time, Bill Hader just lost it. I mean, he was just straight up laughing.
I had someone was telling me their theory of what they do, and I don't know if this actually happens, but she was saying how she imagines that he doesn't read the descriptions of the club until he goes on as Stefan. And I don't know if he
writes it.
Does he write all of it?
I mean, I don't have proof of that, but 99% of the time you're doing a monologue piece, especially somebody like that who has a sketch comedy background from before he got on the show. He's going to write that stuff. So.
Okay. I was just but it might,
but you know what? That might be the moment that you realize, it's one thing to write it in a room 6 hours before. It's another to be like, wow, I'm about to say, Murphs or whatever it is.
And he gets
a dog on a skateboard.
So great. No, it was a human on a skateboard. It's a little person.
Little person on a skateboard.
A human Roomba.
Yeah.
It's like it gets so crazy that I can see, you actually start buying into the things you're saying and you're like, oh my God. But
maybe that makes more sense then.
Again, because like I said, in New York, you want to be the one with the coolest and craziest thing that you've never heard of. You want like the cool hors d'oeuvre or the cool new drink or like anything new, especially in that world. It's because it's the race to be cool, right? It's the newer, the less people know about it, the more exclusive it is, the more it's yours, the cooler it is. So, it could be a little. But what were you saying about Second City? You were saying that's a no-no, big no-no, right? I mean,
Second City. Yeah, kind of speak on my background where I was trained originally in Colorado. The guy who started the improv company that I initially trained for.
Yeah.
He was at Second City with Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert and Amy Sedaris. Wow. And a load, early 90s.
Right.
It was very, very frowned upon. You will never really see those guys break if they go on a show like
committed.
that. Yeah, and you see them on Stephen Colbert. I think I've seen him break once on the
Colbert
Report.
Colbert loses it quite often.
Really? Lately? Yeah. I haven't seen it lately, but back when I was watching it, I didn't see too much. But that was something they were huge on. It was not because you're not trying to have that fun and let the audience in on the joke. It's because you're not committing to character strong enough if you're going to break that easily. And so that's kind of...
At a certain point, it seems like that becomes the centerpiece of the character, especially with Stefan. People love Stefan, and they're just waiting. The joke is like, he says funny stuff, but what's going to make Stefan laugh. That's the whole thing. So I mean, that's why people love him. So you have this weird dynamic where if you don't like that kind of thing, which generally I don't, I find it a little pandering, but that's what people like now, it seems. Even Kristen Wiig does it without breaking character. I mean, she's better at holding it in. She has that weird, like...
She'll do that kind of frown where she's just kind of like... You can just see, like, the edges of her mouth will turn downward because you can see her fighting it. You can see also the glint in her eye, be like, okay, this can go off the rails. And then you see her lock back in.
Yeah.
And then get the dead eye to kind of get back in the scene.
But she has that kind of feeling. I think it's a sense of fun when they're really having fun and they're in. I say it all the time, but when they're in the moment doing it, people really connect with that.
Well, and she did that with the Paula Deen character on Weekend Update. I thought, which was a new character for her, and that was really fun. And she was goofing with the butter and putting in her hair, just doing a lot of things, obviously off script, but trying to enjoy it. I think she smirked a couple times in that, but it was really silly.
The N-word, don't go too crazy. Nutrition. Yeah, right, nutrition.
Nutrition.
Yeah. So, SNL, don't get too crazy, but have fun by all means.
That's right.
We can talk briefly about the Shins. What'd you guys think of the Shins?
I dug them.
Musical guest. I liked them too.
Fun band, yeah.
Again, I think this might just be my old man sensibilities, that they're not a crazy kind of out there, tweaked out. They're kind of established and they've been playing for a while. But
and now you're out of control.
I am out of control. I'm going nuts over here. So we mentioned briefly, of course, Maya Rudolph. She was on. She was actually on Fresh Air with Terry Gross on NPR, which just shows what I listen to. But she was on there talking about
Ear to the Underground over here.
That's
Mario.
right. Yeah. Let me tell you what the National Public Radio people listen to. They're getting hip to
Coolio
Maya
and
Rudolph.
NPR.
That's
what's
right.
going on.
That's what's
on
happening on this end
world.
of in the club world scene. The club world scene. I can't believe I said that. But so a bunch of other people are in the news. Who else? Any other former cast members that we heard? Any news?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Now we got to have some news. I guess isn't Community coming back soon? I mean,
Community is coming back. That's right.
Not really.
Very excited about that. Kristen Wiig, who everyone in the new. Have you guys seen or have any interest in seeing Friends with Kids?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I
seems
do.
pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be
Maya
fun.
Rudolph is in that too. I think that's why she was on it.
A wide cast. I think Megan Fox is even in that movie.
right.
So they have a lot going on.
Bridesmaids reunion.
That's right.
Basically.
Yeah,
there's a
apparently.
couple
Yeah.
of them. Sure.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Most definitely.
Okay, so we'll have a review of that whenever one of us sees it.
And we've touched on it. I mean, I think you're right. This probably, I would be surprised if Kristen Wiig comes back next season because she's already got Bridesmaids. She has the Friends with Kids.
She's got a couple of movies in the works.
Yeah, it seems like she already established herself. Yeah. She's doing the Will Ferrell thing where she's getting a little zany. So I mean, we'll see. But this may be Kristen Wiig's last.
We're gonna start the rumor right here. We're gonna set the internet ablaze. So if you guys could tweet Kristen Wiig's last season. We'll just get this little rumor started.
It's gonna be
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
That's right. The exclusive is we're gonna make our own mayhem.
That's right.
There's nothing like an exclusive that you invent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. It could be a 1995 situation all over again. Where
What's
there's,
that?
What?
Well, when there was the Sandler end, the Farley end, Spade, everybody leaving, and then it was the Will Ferrells, and they really thought the show might not make it anymore.
Yeah.
And
the rumors of SNL's demise.
No, I'm not saying that, but it's going to be a 95 situation all over again, where they might get 3 or 4 new people.
Okay.
We got
nobody
three
right
right
now.
We got 3 right here. That's what I was gonna say.
That's right. But nobody right now is popping. Taron Killian is the closest right now, and they're really kind of pushing him.
Yeah.
You think they do more with Jay Farrow? My God, I apologize, Jay, but.
We love you.
Yeah.
I mean, we think you should
really
have
do.
your show.
You should, you should get more work.
Keenan wasn't there much either.
Keenan wasn't there. Bobby Moynihan. But again, these people have been there for a while. And other than Keenan, Bobby's never really had anything that popped. You got a lot of people who aren't becoming a star. And that show needs stars.
I'll say this about Bobby, since you bring him up. It's kind of weird, he's like the chubby dude, the resident chubby dude.
Yeah.
And he's a lot more controlled and disciplined than previous chubby dudes. Like, he's not a Horatio Sands guy. He comes from Broadway, didn't he come from, like, Spelling Bee?
Improv.
Was that
No, improv as well. Yeah, I actually saw he performs regularly at UCB in New York.
He was there for
ASCAT. Yeah.
And he was there for like over a decade, so he was like a long-term holdover. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, I mean, you have Jonah Hill there, and you have Bobby, and you see these two different. And I feel like, you know, Bobby Moynihan. Moynihan, is that how you say it?
Moynihan.
Yeah. He's got that kind of style. He's really kind of working on a certain kind of grind, and it was kind of cool to see him next to Jonah Hill, where you could kind of see the difference between the two. Jonah Hill's been in the biz, like the big biz, for a little bit longer, but Bobby seems like he's got, you know, some skills. He's still kind of.
Well, he's been bigger longer. I think Bobby Moynihan's like at least 10 years older than him. Than Jonah Hill. So,
but the hope is when somebody gets on there, they pop pretty quickly within the first couple years.
Yeah.
And there's a crop there that it's been more than a couple years.
Though. There's a lot of people that, you know, once they were done with SNL, you never heard from them again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and a lot of those were really good.
Yeah.
Jan Hooks.
That's the one that I was thinking.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show. Chris Kattan.
Yeah. Who was on my flight?
What?
Oh, sorry. Why didn't I lead with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the big scoop. Chris Kattan was on my flight from San Antonio last week. I did not even think to interview him. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I didn't even think to. Wow. And why would I admit that? And also, why would I admit that? Why not just say he was pissed drunk?
I can feel the strong wind of the negative comments blowing your way.
I know. The Mango was on my flight, and I saw him. And the thing was, he was performing. I actually saw in the news what was going on in San Antonio that week. He did a couple of shows at the local comedy club.
Nice.
So I thought, oh, that was cool. So then when he was on the flight back to LA, you know, he was actually getting on. And it's like he was one of the last guys to get on. So kind of looked and was like, oh, wow, there's Chris Kattan. And then he got on, and it never even occurred. Oh, man. Wow. I'm sorry. I
gotta be on your grind.
I got to tell you, man. I was on like a honeymoon of sorts. I was with my girlfriend. She had just met my family. So I had
Coolio in his headphones.
I had Coolio on my headphones.
He was zoned out.
No, I got to say, my mind was not on AfterBuzz.
Love drunk, man. I get it.
That's all right. You'll make it up to us.
I will. I'm going to find another guy and interview. So we got some predictions here coming up on the home stretch.
I have a prediction. Mario will blow another opportunity for a guest.
I'm going to run into Will Ferrell tonight at the Symphony, and I'm going to be like, hey, man, who want to share a brand?
Oh, so you're going is that what it is? Mario looks really fancy fancy today.
Yeah,
if
Dapper.
you're not watching, yeah, Dapper Dan over here.
That's right.
Symphony.
The handsome Hernandez, I think they call him on the streets.
And the alleyways.
So we predict that you're going to enjoy the symphony.
We are. Yeah, I think, or maybe, it's chamber music. I don't know.
Chamber music.
So the good news is Sofia Vergara is going to be hosting.
Yes.
Is the next host.
That's right.
The new next live one.
So hot.
Do you guys watch Modern Family?
I love Modern Family.
Good.
Obviously, you're one
I
of
should have you. I should have you come on. Then
You have to have me on the Modern Family
okay.
show. I'm desperate to be on the Modern Family show.
Okay.
I love it. Watch it all the time.
All right. Well, you got
desperate.
that's it. Done. You're going to be on the Modern Family.
Way to go, bro. You made it happen.
That's right. And so she's wonderful. She is actually, I'll tell you what, obviously I was down in South Texas. I was right on the border. I was on Laredo, Texas, which is right on the border with Mexico. And so obviously there's a lot of Spanish channels. You can get Spanish channels here. But Sofia Vergara was in a Spanish either banking or insurance commercial. I forget what it was exactly, but it was kind of like, the party was going on, the TV was playing, and then Sofia Vergara. So it's like, everything stops. Like, and in it, of course, she is, she's kind of branded herself as this kind of Lucille Ball kind of goofball character where she makes goofy faces and she's like really sexy and gets kind of flustered and then just kind of and makes like a funny face to button it at the end. So she's doing well.
I'll buy whatever she's selling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for that episode. So.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So we will be doing that here on AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much, guys, for letting me back. Thanks for letting me back in the building.
Hey.
And
thanks for wearing pants this time. We appreciate it.
And it won't happen again. So you can follow me, Mario, on Mario Hernandez on Twitter. My Twitter username is Cinemario, Cinemario. Definitely follow my tweets. No gigs coming up, but we'll let you know. What about you guys? Where are you?
You can always see what I have going on at MatthewKyle.com, MatthewKyle.com, and I'll probably be performing soon. Got some other.
How did Burbank go?
Yeah.
It went well.
Yeah?
It went well. Beautiful crowd.
Stitches.
Yeah, Yoo-Hoo room. It's a fun little room. It's like a 30-seat, so
okay.
Nice.
a lot of fun.
I'll be at your next one.
Thank you.
I was out of town.
Thank you. You were. Yeah. So that's all right.
All right. Where can we find you, Graham?
Graham High, Twitter, or I did put up a couple new videos on my website.
IamGrahamHigh.com.
IamGrahamHigh.com. But yeah, I'm on my grind.
Okay.
I'm planting seeds, watering them.
That's right. Player with the passports.
Yeah.
That's. Thanks so much, Phil Svitek in the booth as our fearless producer, getting us all the sound cues right when we want them, especially the Coolio. Thanks so much, Phil.
We love the camera angles, Phil.
But yeah, for sure, people really give us some comments. Get in touch with us. We got apps. We got a website. We've got everything. So please, we are nothing without you. So please get in touch with us. Connect with us. Make this interactive. Make AfterBuzz TV the best that it can be, and it will definitely make you happier and a more complete person. I said it.
Yeah, give back.
And smarter. And an inch taller.
And an inch taller. So thanks so much. I'm Mario Hernandez. We'll see you at the next SNL AfterBuzz TV recap show.
That's right.
All right.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Favorite.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.